Hey, profs, welcome on in. My name's Rob Lightfoot, proud two-time alum of the Rick Edelman College of Communication, class of 2001. This is Beyond the Brown and Gold.
I'm Jessica Kennedy. I'm the co-host here, also a two-time proud Rowan alum, class of 2008 from the Rick Edelman College of Communication and Creative Arts, and 2015 from the College of Education. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM presents Beyond the Brown and Gold, a show that highlights the lives and memories of Glassboro State and Rowan University alumni. Now, here are your hosts, Rob Lightfoot and Jessica Kennedy.
Jess, we start out very superficial on the show today. Let's admit it.
Yes, we do. We talk a lot.
We talk first about, so today on today's show, we got Mike Connallon, right? So,
Yeah.
so we go right to his style.
Yes.
We didn't talk any substance with him right away. We go right to the way the guy looks.
Well, he's always impeccably dressed.
Yeah.
Wonderful suit. Everything fits well. Pockets square to match. Always dressed to the nines. And that's very impressive because not many people, including myself, are investing that much in what they're wearing these days.
No.
Because a lot of us are part virtual, and I can't remember the last time I bought myself new clothes. But, I mean, that is not the most important thing about Mike Connallon.
No. But it is an important thing about him.
It is. He has more than 20 years experience in securities financing industry. He has worked for JP Morgan for the past 12 years. He is very active on our foundation board.
And he lived in London.
I mean,
He lived in
obviously
London
the
town.
most important thing to Rob is that he lived in London for 2 years, which we talk about. So Mike is an awesome guest, an all-star alum, and a Central Jersey native, which I always like to throw in Central Jersey because I'm a Central Jersey girl.
We never asked him pork roll or Taylor ham.
Oh,
We should
well,
have done
he would
that.
have said pork roll.
Oh, good. Okay, good. No, I get down with that. Yes.
Okay. Enjoy today's show.
So, Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Sorry, there's no studio audience.
I am a huge fan of you both.
Oh,
not
stop
only
it.
not only on the show, but honestly for everything that you guys do for this school.
Thank
all
you.
the support that you provide to the school and the students. It's really remarkable. And I
appreciate
just
that.
want to, in the upfront, thank you guys for that support and service.
Well, the feeling is very mutual. We're
Yeah,
very excited
absolutely.
to have you on today.
Yeah.
Did you now? Wait, we should pull back the curtain and say that Mike. We have an ongoing joke with Mike that he's best dressed alum.
There is nobody better dressed.
We did
than
have a
Mike
great
Connallon.
guest this week who had amazing shoes,
Yes.
Stephanie, which I'm not sure will air before or after this one. But Mike is best dressed, so we've been joking about wearing tuxedos and ball gowns here today. You did not, but I wore a dress today, which is
Rare.
Yes.
Well, it's
all for you.
It's very kind of you, but if you looked in my closet for my casual clothes, I
Yeah.
probably still have T-shirts from college days.
Well,
and
that's good. No, we like that side of you, but we also like to see you dressed to impress, and
Yes.
that's what the event was. Oh, it was the vet school opening, groundbreaking actually, and then at night we had the event. And I joked with Mike. I was like, "You got a second change of clothes?" He's like, "Hey," and next thing you know, he had a second change.
Yeah.
Guys,
Have you always been a fashionista? Is it called fashionista for a guy? I don't know. Have you always been a fashion forward
No,
guy?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say my son does.
Really?
Very, very well-dressed kid. A lot of style. For me, I dress professionally in the office.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a rare moment you'd see me without a tie. For many, many years, I'd be clean-shaven, tie every day, like a New York Yankee, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I like
but
that. Are you a Yankee fan?
But I'm not. I'm a Mets fan.
Oh.
It's a sore subject right now, but I would say, generally speaking, COVID has relaxed things a little bit, so open collar.
Okay. All right.
Big deal here. Open button. Did you grow up in Central Jersey?
I actually grew up in Hazlet Township, which is in Monmouth County.
Yeah.
So not too far from where I live now, Middletown.
I'm a Monmouth County girl, too.
But do you consider it Central Jersey or North
It's
Jersey?
East Central. Rowan came to my attention when I was applying for college, obviously, and it was at the time one of the most affordable schools there was, and that was how I selected the school. ROI, return on investment. And it turned out to be a wonderful experience here, great education. Obviously, really grateful for all the time that I had here as a student.
Were you always college bound? Were your parents
Yeah.
were they pushing you, or were you self-motivated to say, no, this is going to be my career path?
I'm first generation college.
Okay.
My dad was a U.S. Marine. My dad, actually, if I could take a step back,
Yeah.
because it's worth talking about my dad a little bit, because I think it tells a lot about who I've become. My dad grew up in Newark, New Jersey, in the projects, food insecure, working his butt off every single day to provide for the family and his other siblings who were younger than him. And his route out of the ghetto really was the Vietnam War, which is a tough way.
Yeah, that's a tough way to get out. A lot of people were trying to avoid that route.
Absolutely. And he actually volunteered for it. So I was just talking to him about this the other day. He was about 118 pounds when he graduated high school. So at 18, he goes to basic training down in Parris Island for the Marines. And when most people are sweating their butts off, doing PT every single day and losing weight, he actually put on 30 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
It's the first time he
Muscle.
had 3 square meals every single day.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
Wow,
incredible.
what a thought. Yeah.
I always wanted to serve our country. I wanted to be a Marine just like my dad. And he encouraged me and my sisters to go to college. And he viewed that as education as our path to make a better opportunity for our next generation. And so despite the approach that I wanted to take, I listened and I studied and I made college happen. And it's really what connected me more closely to Rowan.
Yep.
Because upon graduation, Rowan, this is 23 years ago I graduated. Rowan was much different. The gift of $100 million from Henry Rowan back in 1992 really began to seed the change of growth and development here. But at the time that I graduated, I studied business. There were not many financial services firms recruiting from New York, which is where I wanted to work. I had job opportunities local to the area, and I held out to get a job on Wall Street, and I started very entry-level job working in operations, which is basically the pipes and plumbing of the financial system. I think for me, when I first came back to Rowan after graduating, the one thing that prompted me to give back more was to see and help other students access things that I didn't have access to when I first graduated.
Are you one of many siblings? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters.
You're the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, no. I peg you for an older sibling.
Why? Why did you say that?
I don't know.
Are you
Well,
a
he
little
knows
slight-
my
little-
sister.
Okay.
So the oldest is typically like the overachiever of the family. And you've achieved quite a bit.
I think, we are, when you say achieve, I sort of think of success for me more as how many people can I help? How many people can I serve? How many people can I bring along for the ride that I've embarked on? And my sisters are cut very much the same way. And I think it just started very basic and very early on in our household. One benefit that we had growing up was a really strong family element, really well-connected family, supportive family, loving family, which is a huge advantage. We didn't have someone showing us the way post-college. That was a bit different. We certainly valued hard work and grit and determination sort of to make ourselves better and stronger and elevate ourselves. And we all give, and we give in different ways. I have a sister who works in healthcare and another sister who's an educator.
So tell us about your journey at Rowan. What was that like for you?
I studied business finance. I think it was a whole new world of experience for me. First time really living away. For me, I think that growth of independence really helped set a strong foundation for me. I've heard you talk on this podcast about other professors that have had a meaningful impact. Professor Pritchard, who studied finance, and for something that really resonated with me was the compound effect. And he's really talking about the compound effect of money, right? And so save early, invest early, and let that money grow and do the work for you, right? Because, I came from a blue-collar background, right, where your body did the work,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Your money didn't do the work, right? Your body did the work in order to provide food on the table. So for me, it was a whole new concept, the fact that money could help you grow and create new opportunities for you. And so it was my first view of a whole new component. And compound effect, it not only works for money, but I think it works in your life too. Because people often ask, what do you want to be? And I don't think you really get to choose what you want to be, but you choose what you do in your day and how you spend your time in your day.
Yep.
And those things lead you to live a more fruitful life, or a life filled with more experience or more opportunity.
Yeah, they add
right?
up.
And that's really goes back to the compound effect, right? What are we doing every day?
So my grandfather had a saying, like, you always pay yourself first. So, no matter how much you made, even if you put $5 a week away. And I feel like that's something that has, trickled down through our family. It's those learned lessons of, if you pay yourself first in the long run, that's really going to add up. So it's a good lesson to know, to have.
And I'm so glad that more schools are doing like financial literacy programs just to educate young people about the compound effect and how to invest, but also how to look at schools, right? Because how many kids don't understand that, okay, I can go to this larger D1 school,
Paying for it for the rest of my
life,
Yeah.
or come to a much more affordable option here. And that's not a commercial for Rowan, but it's a commercial just for being smart and being savvy and ROI that you talked about earlier.
What had you interested in finance? Were you always kind of like a money guy, or
I think I had my first job was a paper route.
Okay.
So it was my first real opportunity.
Like paperboy, like you're throwing it out
throwing
of your bike?
papers,
Love
yeah.
it.
But I viewed it like a business. I didn't know what a business was at the time, but I just knew that, one, you had to keep your existing customers happy. If you wanted to grow the amount of income that you could generate, so I could buy a better bike, so I could make my deliveries a little bit more quickly. I had to grow my customer base, right? So a little bit of sales, customer service, a little bit of grit, a little waking up super early before the sun was up to make it happen.
Come on, Mike. There we go, Mike. That's what we're talking about.
And maybe that was my first real experience with business without really knowing it. And when I started to study here, I think I just had a sense that was the direction I wanted to go. I didn't know what the world of finance looked like, but it ended up working really well for me because I think it was something inherent in me that gravitated towards that type of work.
This is the first guest that we've had, Jessica Rose, where we were on the campus at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not the first guest that's been on campus the same time as you, is it?
No, but I mean like as far as our graduation year.
Oh, got you.
So we both arrived at the same time, so very similar like campus experiences. I remember coming here and it was Rowan College, and they gave out the shirt that said Rowan College on it, and it was the outline of Bunce. But then we became a university, and they put slats on the tower marks.
They had a little bit more money.
They had
for
a little bit more
printing.
money for them to print the T-shirts and stuff like that. It was good.
Well, then we started in '96 together.
Yes.
96 was the first year of the engineering program, right? So the 1992 gift from Henry Rowan, this is the largest gift to a public institution at its time, $100 million. Henry Rowan, as you know, didn't go to Rowan. He lived in the area, but he knew that his money was far more impactful in and around this community than it would have been at, say, MIT, where he studied engineering.
Yeah.
Now, as students coming in 96, were you very aware of the Henry Rowan gift? Because by the time I was coming to college, it was 2004. I only knew it as really Rowan in my time, and we didn't grow up around the area, so we didn't really know of Glassboro State. But were you very aware that there was a gift here? Because I feel like people that had come at that time say, like, I heard there was money here, or my guidance counselor told me to come because of the gift. Like, did that impact any of your decision making, or did you know?
I just remember being Rowan the entire time. It really wasn't. I don't remember like focusing on the gift so much.
The knowledge I had of it was many friends of mine were engineering program majors, and they got scholarships to come to Rowan to establish the engineering program. And that was the one stipulation that Henry Rowan had, was that he wanted a world-class engineering program. Yeah. So we went from inception in 1996 to top 15 in the country engineering program over, less than a 30-year period.
Which is amazing.
It's astonishing.
It's incredible.
Right? And it's I think he would be really proud about the impact that gift has had here. I'm really proud helping serve Rowan's Foundation, where we invest not only his gift, but we've been able to attract additional gifts between the Henry Rowan gift and our quasi-endowment, and the growth of investing those gifts and many since. It's a $650 million endowment and quasi-endowment. So it's grown significantly, and it is through the growth, partly through the growth of those funds, that help support the larger university and the mission to support affordable education, high-quality education, to attract more students to get educated, which is something I'm extremely passionate about, because for me, the education made all the difference. It was the first giant leap to get me on the map towards fulfilling a higher purpose. and creating new opportunities, not only for me, but, everyone that I aim to support thereafter.
Sure. 18-year-old Mikey comes in. Can I call him Mikey?
I don't know. You ask him, not me.
18-year-old Mikey comes in, and you come into business now. Do you know exactly what path you're going to follow in business, or did it take you a year or two to kind of find out, like, this is the lane I want to go in?
I studied finance. Again, I think until you start working full-time,
Sure.
all the theoretical stuff, it's hard to know what that really means and how to apply it. And so it wasn't really until I started working professionally that really I'd like to go back and redo that education again, like now knowing what I know today.
Oh, so would I. I mean, look, I enjoyed my time, but come on.
Sure. Well, you're going back.
I'm going back, but
and you're going back for...
I want to be Mike Connallon.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, essentially, is
Exactly.
go back in time and try to recreate that,
As I advanced in my career, I started to figure out more and more what my interests, where those lied. And I love, building business, growing business, accelerating the growth of business using tech, using a wide range of things to help elevate and support a business. But I think the people factor is the thing that's most important to me, right? And I've had great opportunities in my career to serve committees that are focused on advancement and development of especially our younger staff, right? Because when I graduated from college, again, I didn't enter a program. I started in operations, which is the building blocks of the financial services industry. And there was a lot for me to learn. And I quickly learned that I wanted to advance into a front office role. And I just spent a lot of time learning about what that is, interacting with folks in those types of roles, supporting them, all along the way, trying to find opportunities to support others, to give them opportunities to learn and grow themselves.
And were you in New York City right after?
Yeah, I started in New York.
Because
I think New York is so intimidating.
oh my God, no, Jess, absolutely.
Right?
It is.
Now, my sister worked there like forever. I couldn't. I would like go visit her like Christmas time and like get off the bus, and I couldn't do
No,
it.
because
Like,
it's overwhelming. There's so
it's
many.
so overwhelming. I don't
So
know.
tight.
I have so much respect for people that work in New York City, the Mikes, my sisters of the world, because you really have to work hard to make a name for yourself there and to advance there. And I just, even walking down the street, I'm like, where am I?
Right.
I'm not a city girl by
No.
any means. So I think even just having a career where you go into, I sound like such a child, but where you go into New York City, or as my parents would say, you go to business. That's intimidating. Were you intimidated at all to go into New York City, or was it very like part of, growing up in Central Jersey? Were you in New York a lot?
Yeah, we grew up in the shadow. I mean, I might have admit to cutting a class or two and spending the day in New York.
I knew there was something on his records that I saw. I knew there was something I saw.
There's a blemish.
Yeah, I think it is daunting initially, and then it just becomes part of, like anything else, the more grow and explore, the more it becomes sort of part of the day. But I certainly appreciate it. It's a world-class city. Obviously, it attracts a lot of tourists for good reason. Mm-hmm. It attracts a lot of investment.
A lot of talent.
A lot of talent. And I get to be surrounded by it.
But one of the other cities, Mike, that you were in that I want to talk about, I got to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I love London.
Yeah.
I love
You talk about London.
every episode.
Rob talks about London on every podcast, and I think I talk about Hamilton on every podcast.
Obviously, there's some roots there. But I circled it and I underlined it. I'm like, so talk to me about London.
Yeah.
Tell me everything about it.
Well, actually, so I had a study abroad program.
Oh, very
when I
cool.
was here. It was my junior year, and I went to Coventry. Just kind of picked it off of the map because I didn't really know much about it. I traveled there with another Rowan friend of mine, Keith Jacobson, who's a supporter of the business school as well. We studied there. It was my first international experience, aside from maybe Canada. But culturally, Canada is pretty similar to here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was really eye-opening, right? I think a lot of Americans, you grow up here, the world that we view is very U.S.-centric, right? But there's a lot going on outside of this country. And it was a great perspective builder for me. It was a great opportunity to meet people from not just England, but from all across Europe who came to Coventry to study. Coventry University was hammered during World War II. It was the manufacturing hub. So all of the car manufacturers and machinery and equipment manufacturers, and then ultimately like tank manufacturers were based in Coventry. And they just got hammered by the Blitzkrieg, and they rebuilt that city. They rose from the ashes, right? And so I got my first real experience seeing history firsthand. I knew that I wanted to go back and live internationally at some point in my career. It took me a while, right? It took me a while to build the base of my career. I mentioned I started in operations. I moved on to a trading desk.
I could talk trading desk all day long with this guy.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We could maybe on this a side show.
Sorry, we'll do a different show. Yeah.
But really interesting place. Sitting on the trading floor, understanding the markets, how we serving our clients. Great education there. And I asked a manager one day if I would be considered at some point in the future for an international assignment. And it took a few years, right, of proving myself and growing my capabilities before I got a tap on the shoulder to say, hey, listen, we have an opportunity in the UK. And I had an opportunity to run a trading desk out in the UK, build and grow that business. But I had to do it while learning new culture, workplace culture, right? I had to take new securities registration exams in the Queen's English, which was unique.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I learned so much in that period of time. I ended up being there for 2 years, and which was not enough time. But in 2 years, I probably learned more than the last 10, just because you're immersed you're forced out of your comfort zone, forced to make new friends. And one of the coolest things about it was on my trading desk, there were people from every country. So talk about diversity, talk about learning from other people and their backgrounds and their upbringings. And it was so valuable for perspective.
I came back and started to look for, this is before I came to Rowan, but I came back from that trip and started looking for jobs over there right away. I was like, I got to get over there. And obviously,
we always talk about this, but would you really go solo over there?
I
know you're like an introvert.
I am.
You're like a fake extrovert.
I am, but I could totally run solo somewhere.
Yeah.
I always talked about going off the grid in my elder years, like on some like.
You're there, right?
I am. I'm like 10 years away from it, actually. I'll see you in Colorado.
All right,
somewhere.
tell us what about Hong Kong? How long were you in Hong Kong?
Before I go to Hong Kong, can I close out the London story?
Yes,
please,
I think this
please.
is
Rob's like any chance.
This is
a
really cool anecdote. I think is that I was in London. I was working there during the height of the credit crisis, which is a wild time to be out there. I had decided after being there for 2 years that I wanted to remain there, that I wanted to live the rest of my life in Europe, and unfortunately, the credit crisis hit. Banks were downsizing. My bank was reducing our employee footprint in our local office, and I was there as an expat. So they basically told me I had to go home. And I was really, really disappointed at that prospect after living abroad for a while. And it turns out that the day after I arrived, I kind of re-met my now wife.
There we go.
So you talk about silver linings.
Everything happened for a reason.
At the time, I thought, this is tough. This is something I don't want to do. And now I have 2 beautiful kids, been married for 12 plus years, really met a perfect person for me, and, really grateful that I had that opportunity and that experience, and, was able to make a great pivot.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Now forget Hong Kong. I love a love story.
Yeah.
You said you re-met her. Did you grow up together?
Well, where else but down at the Jersey Shore?
Oh,
boy.
Never fell in love at the Jersey Shore. Mike, come on.
Yeah. No, we were among mutual friends for many, many years. I don't think we really had a serious conversation until, the day after I returned, July 4th, 2009.
Oh,
right?
He knows
That
the
date.
day.
Right? And then we just hit it off in that convo, really got to know each other a little bit better, and started dating after that, and got engaged within a year, married within a year after that. And when you know, I think you know.
Wow. Speedy Jersey Shore
My
love.
goodness. What shore, by the way?
Yeah. Where's your beach?
We were at Jenkinson's.
What is that?
That's Point.
Oh, okay, Point Pleasant.
Come on. Now you're at JP Morgan. You've been at JP Morgan for
12 years now.
Yeah, that's
almost
a bit of
13.
time.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of time. Love the company, love the culture.
And what's your role there?
I'm a relationship manager for institutional investors. JP Morgan serves a wide variety of institutional investors, sovereign wealth funds, and some of the most sophisticated investors out there are my clients, and I just help them navigate our variety of product offerings to help them better serve their customers.
Well, you're helping and serving here at Rowan, right? So we've got a lot of involvement from Mike. So why don't you talk about what you're involved in here at the university and
How you even found out about those opportunities?
Yeah, really, it just started, as I mentioned, coming back here and volunteering my time to help students sort of navigate the internship process, the interview process. And the more I got involved here, the more I realized I had something to offer, right? And I think for different people, many people wait, right? They feel like they have to hit a certain title or have had so many years of experience before they're aimed and equipped to give back. But I think the most valuable lesson for me was everyone has something to give and everyone has something to benefit from that gift, right? So the sooner you can start, the sooner you can grow and build. And so for me, I just started with helping students out, and I was asked to do a little bit more and so on and so forth. And before long, I was asked to serve on the foundation board, which, as we talked about, invests the endowment, and we aim to build and grow that endowment to support the university. So it's been extremely valuable and rewarding. I'm surrounded by such a wide group of different professionals that have been successful all in their own rights, that give a lot of their time and energy on a volunteer basis to support this institution and its students and the community around it. And, I'm inspired by them every single day. I'm inspired by our students and by the prospects of this school. It's just beginning the growth. Over the last 10 years, enrollment's doubled, from 12,000 to 22,000 or 11,000 to 22,000 over the last 10 years. The economic imprint of this school is growing. I think we had 1,400 faculty or staff members of the school. We have over 4,000 now. Rowan's becoming an economic engine, not just of this town, but of this county, of this region. And one thing I'm really proud of is the Rowan Innovation Venture Fund. And if I could talk about that for a second, right? This is something that we spun off from the foundation. Our foundation invests in a wide variety of investment opportunities to support the growth of the foundation itself. And one thing that we do is invest in venture capital. And venture capital is investment in an early stage company to help bring an idea from seed to a legitimate company to build and grow and maybe disrupt different businesses to accelerate change. And about 7 years ago, we allocated $5 million to the Rowan Innovation Venture Fund. Last year, given the success of that fund in investing in companies that were born by Rowan students, alumni, professors, we decided to allocate another $20 million. And we're beginning to invest that money over the next few years to accelerate change. And I think all of the mission of Rowan University and the opportunities that we're providing, I view Rowan Innovation Venture Fund as an accelerant of those things. And it's something that's going to really help grow, not only regional prominence, but I think we're going to begin to get the attention on a national level at this school for all the good things that we're doing.
And how do people plug into the venture fund if they're interested?
Yeah, so there's certainly information out there on we could support or supply via this podcast.
Sure.
Right? I am the chair of the Rowan Innovation Venture Fund, but I work with Ernie Holtzheimer, who's a past guest of your show.
Ernie did great last time.
He's amazing. One of the most energized, inspiring Rowan graduates that I know. He dedicates a lot of his time and attention and experience in helping build and grow this fund. He's the managing director of the fund. We have a wide variety of things that we do to support the fund. Ernie, along with our screening committee, which is made up of industry professionals, we basically have a Shark Tank.
Yeah, it's great.
Once a month, right? Where we bring in students, alumni, local entrepreneurs, for them to pitch their ideas. And if there's a good strategic fit with the university, we'll invest in them and we'll see that they get the resources they need to build and grow their companies. And, as a result, those companies are going to begin hiring interns, right? And there'll be opportunities for students to get involved through fellowship programs to work on the venture fund or to help us support the things that we need to do to administer the venture program itself. So it's a great ecosystem, and I'd say little ecosystem right now that's going to continue to grow and build and provide a lot of momentum for the school. I'm really excited for the world of possibility and opportunity ahead for us.
So we had Ernie on previously, and we mentioned that Ernie's a big runner. Mm-hmm. And then Mike's like, I do more than run. I'm going to put a little competition together here. Can you see what I'm doing here? Sorry, Ernie. No, you mentioned you do a little bit more, but you said Ernie is encouraging you, like you're a little accountability partner.
You know, when I was younger, I used to do more endurance events. I used to do marathons. I did Ironman. I did Ironman with my wife.
And explain what an Ironman is for folks.
So an Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, followed by a marathon.
That's disgusting.
But now Ernie does them now, but he is addicted to the Ironman, and he's doing multiples in a year. I dabbled, right? And Ernie's trying to rope me into picking it back up again. I haven't done any long endurance events in a while since I've had my children.
And they're old. They're like 10.
They're
right?
a little bit older. So I try to keep the amount of training time to a smaller amount so I have more time with them.
Sure.
But, he's trying to rope me in. I don't know.
We appreciate that you hike all the way from, Middletown to Rowan, because it is, a good hour and a half solid drive. But I think you're like a good inspiration for folks that you don't have to live like right in the very close geographical region to get involved and give back and find ways to, support your alma mater. So I think that that's really neat. But you are great. You do make your way here a lot.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I think there's a wide variety of opportunities for people. Especially, I would encourage any alum, if they haven't been back here, come check it out. That would be my one huge takeaway, right? It's been extremely valuable for me to volunteer my time and energy here because of all of the impact that I've seen, all of the growth, and it's incredibly rewarding, and everyone has something to give. And I'd really love to see more alumni get more engaged. I think oftentimes you get busy with your life, and even a 10-minute phone call with a student can be invaluable to them to give them some guidance for how they can clear their next obstacle, whatever it may be. And so you can have an immense impact on the next generation.
So is he not like the nicest guy in the world?
He is so kind. And after we kind of finished recording, we stayed and chatted for another, half hour or so. But then we had to let him go because he has foundation board responsibilities today.
Very active cat with us, which is very appreciative because we love that he invests, in the university in so many different ways. So it's awesome.
Yeah, he has a 12-7 commitment today. So it's no joke. But our foundation board, we're so incredibly grateful for what they do and how they invest in the university and its students. And I just loved having Mike on. I love a Central Jersey guy. He lives in the same neighborhood as my sister, which we randomly found out when we met years ago, which I just think is such a small world thing. So I like that our worlds have collided over the years. I'm excited to have had the chance to know him.
No, I said it on the show. I want to be like Mike. It's kind of like I don't know.
It's like that commercial.
Commercial, yeah.
Was that a milk commercial?
I think so.
Did you watch, this is so off topic, but did you watch the Michael Jordan? I know. Did you watch the Michael Jordan? I mean, they're old at this point, but the Michael Jordan docs?
No, I didn't. Oh, no, I did. Yeah. And I got a better appreciation for him because I wasn't a fan of his growing up. I still am not a big fan, but I do appreciate his skills, yeah. Wow. But that's a deeper thing.
Oh, man, we have to talk about this offline. Well, I have much to discuss with Rob, but I will not drag you on the Michael Jordan journey. But thank you for joining us for the Michael Connallon journey.
You've been listening to Beyond the Brown and Gold on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. You can find more episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms by searching for Beyond the Brown and Gold or Rowan Radio On Demand.